Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Yves Kipondo, and in this video I'd like to share with you a notion about iSCSI, which is a mechanism which allows you to share or to give remote access to a block storage. So if you have one server which has small space and you want to increase that space, you have different method on your hand which you can use, and one of them is to rely on iSCSI, which provide you to the ability to create storage on one server which has big spaces, and you can take that space and share that to many servers which can access that and configure that locally as a storage server. And without further ado, I will launch my terminal and show you how to create that. So I will launch, as you usually know, on when I'm working on all my previous video, I'm using Tmax. So Tmax new dash T iSCSI, and I will start by logging on the server which will provide that storage which will be accessible from a remote server. So I'll do SSH -L if, which is a user which allow to establish SSH connection on the remote server. Then I'll enter the password, which is actually password. And on this server, what I will have to do, so basically iSCSI came with two major components. We have target and initiators. Target is a feature which run on a server which shares storage, and initiator is a software which run on a client which allow your client to be able to access storage which are shared from your main storage server. So to be able to use iSCSI, you have to install different packages on the client as well as on the server. And on the server, actually, I will go and show you how to install that. So I'll do dnf install the package which is responsible for installing the target on the server is target. So I will check, I must go as root user, password, and I'll do dnf install target. DNF, I messed up and put DNS instead of DNF. So team, I don't have packages, so I will check that ls-l etc yum.repo. So I have all my repository. So I can reach my repo. I will try get DNF search iSCSI. So I'm able to search that now. I'll try to install DNF install target CLI. So it's actually target CLI and not target like I said previously. So now I've launched the process to install the target CLI, which is the main package which came with all feature which will allow this server, in my case storage server, to be able to share some storage space which will be accessible from remote server. So I'll press yes. So this will install all packages needs to be able to do on the server side and to be able to share spaces from this server which will be accessible remotely. And after that I will check systemctl status target, which is the service which allow us to configure all our SCSI stuff. So I'll do systemctl enabled -- now target. So once it's enabled, that means I can now start in configure iSCSI and all of the stuff on the server. So I'll do target CLI. So this is the console which allows me to create all configuration related to iSCSI. And you can type help to get all command or all options which you can use on that CLI. In my case, I'll use ls to so you can see what is available now. So there are different blocks and different options. There is backstore, which allows which type of storage you want to share, and there is also iSCSI, which came with different configuration, which I will show you in later once we go further in the configuration. I will firstly access the backstore. So you navigate in this CLI as you are navigating the normal Linux shell. So you can do cd or cd dot to access or cd to access any directory. And once you want to create a storage object, you have different options. You have block type like block storage object. This one you have file IO object, PSCSI object, and as well as RAM disk. In this video, I will only show you how to configure block storage object and file IO. So block storage object actually allows you to, if you have one disk on your server, you will be able to share that disk over iSCSI. And a file disk, it will allow you to create file which you can share as a disk on your remote server. So I'll go and create a file-based storage. So I'll do file, create. If I will open just file IO. And here, if I do help, you can see there are different commands, and the command which is needed actually is the command create, which will allow you to create a file object. And that command is create. So after that, you specify the name of the object which you want to create, and you specify what the file which you create will be saved, and you specify also the size of that file you want to create. So I'll do create. I'll name it file1, and the place where I want to save it, it will be mnt video. So I'll just do mnt or exit and check the different directory in mount point, ls -l. So there is nothing. I'll check that. Okay, I'm just looking for space where I can create that file. So I'll create it just at the root space, the root path. So I'll do target CLI, and here I'll do create file1 root file 1.img. So you are not obliged to put the extension .image. You can put it without any extension, as on Linux. If you are not able to place extension, you are not obliged to place an extension. The OS will recognize different type of file automatically. And after that, like I said, you must specify the size of that file. I'll create just a file of size 1 megabyte, 100 megabytes, and press enter. That will create the file IO. If I do ls again, I'll just go at the root and do ls. You can see now we have a storage object of type file, and it's the same object for the block as well, but this time I will just do exit and show you how to share a block device. So I've just mounted a block device on this server, and I'll show you lsblk. I just mounted this one, SDE with 5 GB, and that is really the disk which I'll use to share over iSCSI. So I'll go on that and create a partition just of 1 GB SDE and do n primary, yes, 1G plus 1G, right? Okay, I've created that. If I do lsp fdisk dev ste, so oh, I must quit stel. So as you can see, there is one partition of 1 GB that will be the block device which I use to share over iSCSI. And I'll do again target CLI. And here now I will create the configuration like I said previously. So I'll do target block backstore block create block one, and it will be dev ste1, and the size is 1 GB. So with block device, you are not obliged to press the size that it will be recognized automatically. So just press enter. And if I do ls again, you can see we have now two storage objects. We have a block file IO storage project type. So once you have created your different storage objects, you can now configure the iSCSI part, which will take that block you have configured, you have created, and share that through iSCSI. And for that, to share that, you must create a IQN, which is a iSCSI qualified name. So that name will be used when you want to access your storage device from your remote server. So I will do iSCSI create, and as like I show you previously, to see if you want to get help, you just use help and the command which you want to get help for. So it's iSCSI, you specify the IQN. So in my case, I use iSCSI create IQN dot the year 2023. The month is November dot com is dev dot local, which is my name, my domain name, and that is local. And after that, what I did, I plus the name of the server. Just you cannot leave it like it is, or you can plus something else. In my case, I just would like to put the name of the server. So actually the name is storage, and press enter. So this one will create the iSCSI IQN, which is where you specify all iSCSI configuration to allow remote server to access storage. And there is ACL, learns, and portal. So ACL is the part where you define which client is allowed to access a given storage object. Learn is the part where you map a block device with the ACL, and the portal is the address from which remote server will access your storage server. So for that, I will do iSCSI IQN create. So I'll start by creating a learn, which will map my block or the file storage with my learn. So I do storage learn tp1 learn create. So here you must specify the number of learn. You can go from 1 and above. So I'll start with learn 0, and that will be mapped to the storage object backstore file 1. So I'll do press enter, and I will do the same with the block storage object which I create. So I'll do iSCSI create learn. This one, it will be learn 2 or learn 1, and it will be on the block storage object. And if I do again ls, you can see we have two learns under the learn section. So I have two learn 0 and learn 1, and learn 0 is mapped to file IO file 1, and learn 1 is mapped to the block 1. And that is not all. After that, I must create the ACL which will allow a client to access my iSCSI storage. So for that, I must have the ICANN or the name of the remote client which will have access to my server. So for that, I will connect. I'll open my second server. So I'll exit. I'll split my windows and I'll do SSH -L give 172.25.150.11, which is the address of my client server, password, and I will do sudo su dash password. I'm connected as a root, and on the client side you must also insert another packages, and that package is the package which is in charge of iSCSI. So I'll do DNF search. Oh, I don't DNF search iSCSI. So this will search for all package which has iSCSI in the name, and the package which I need to install is iSCSI initiator name. Initiator utils. So I'll do DNF install iSCSI initiator utils, and yes, so it will install it without prompting me to accept that. So I'll do that. I'll leave to complete. So once it's completed, I must check the name of this client actually. So to check the client, I must check the file which will be in here, and the file will be initiator name. So actually it's not present. So if it's not present, that means the service which is in charge of the initiator is not run. So to run that, I will just use systemctl start iSCSI, and now if I do ls -l etc iSCSI, I have a file initiator name, and that is the file which contains the name of my initiator. And I'll do just cat initiator name.iSCSI. So the name is this one. So actually the name is generated automatically by the service. You can customize that, and that is what I will do because I want to have something which is meaningful. So I'll just go here and clean the console. Okay, target CLI. I just want to clean the console here so you can be clear. So ls, okay, now it's okay. So if I want to modify that, I can just do vi, and for the name I'll leave IKN. So here it will be 2023. So each name must be unique, and here it will be 11, not 11, and here it will be dev dot local, and the name I'll put the name of the server, which is server 1. And here at the end, what I like to do is to put the name of I can just put in my previous configuration. What I did, I put like I have two servers which access a specific type of storage object. So in this case, I'll just use like storage. So I will access both type, the file IO and the block type. I press storage, server 1 storage, right, and exit. And now what I have to do is to restart the iSCSI server service, iSCSI. So as I've configured my client with a name which I want, so that etc iSCSI initiator name, I must now create the ACL which will allow that client to access the storage on my server. And for that, I will do iSCSI ICANN TP1 ACL create. So one I want to create, you can use just help create, which will give you a description of how you create the ACL. So for that, I will do iSCSI create Here the IQN is the name of the client which will access that storage in particular. So I'll do create IQN dot 2023 slash dash 11 dot dev dot local dot server 1 colon storage. So if the name of your client and the name configured in iSCSI doesn't match, that will not, the connection will not be established. So I press enter. So by default, automatically the ACL will create map between my learns and my client. The initiator will be able to access to all learns which exist on this IQN. So if you don't want to have that behavior, you can set or you can get global. So there is a setting which is get global. So global. So it is this one, auto hard map learned, which create that map automatically. So you can disable that by setting it at default, but this will not be part of this one. I'm just talking of that if you, so you can be aware of that. And I'll just do ls. So the map have been established, and now I can try to connect on my iSCSI. So I'll do save and exit. So if I do target CLI ls, so I have all my configuration. So to establish the connection, I must discover the target like I said. So I use iSCSI ADM-M discovery and do dash st will be send target, and I will do repo dash p for storage.local.dev. So as you can see, it so I'll use target CLI ls. So as you can see, it discovered the target which I configured on my server. So is this one. So this command allows you to discover the all target which are created on the iSCSI server or the iSCSI target. And now once I've discovered that, I must now establish connection. And to establish connection, I must do iSCSI another command adm-m. This time is not discover, it will be node. And after that, I'll specify the target on to which I want to access. And for that, I'll do IQN. The target is already here. So is IQN this one. Copy and I'll paste it. And now if I press this one, it's just this whole property for that target and not establish the connection. To establish the connection, I must use dash login or dash L. And as you can see, it is said login and at the end is successful. And now this means I have access to all this storage which have been shared from my remote server. And to know how that storage is mounted on, is made available on my server, I can use iSCSI ADM dash, this time I use the module session dash p, and now we had 3 for the level of output. And now as you can see at the end here, we have two objects which are, well, two disks which have been attached to this one. There is SDB and SDC. And if I do lsblk, as you can see, we have SDB and SDC, and SDB is 100 megabytes and SDC is 1 gigabyte, like I configure here. So you can see block 1 is 1 gigabyte and file IO is 1 megabyte. So that is how you create iSCSI block, and you share them on so they can be accessible from remote server. And if I go now here, they are working like complete disk which are attached to this server, and I can use fdisk to format that and create file on that fdisk dev sdb, and here I'll do n p e, and I'll create just a disk with full space, right? And if I do lsblk, you can see on dev on sdb we have sdb1. I can do the same with sdc n p plus 500 megabyte. I won't use the full size, and right. And if I do lsblk, so we have the same, we have the partition on that block as well. So this is how you create partition on iSCSI which are attached to your client via initiator which connected to the remote server. The second part of this video will be to show you how to create authentication. So actually we are not doing authentication when we are connecting those. So that means anyone can just, if they know the name of the target which are configured on the iSCSI server and the name of initiator or which are set on the ACL, they can change their own initiator name and do the configuration. So you can have some level of authentication using password and username. And for that, we can go just here. I'll go back here. I'll create another IUKN which I will mount on the same server. So I'll do IUKN. So I'll do iSCSI create IUKN IUKN 2022.11.dev.local, or do secure storage. Or just do secure storage. So this will be the storage which is secure with password and username, and I will access that. So I will do cd iukn iSCSI iukn 2022 secure, and if I do ls, we have the same shape. We have ACL, learns, and portal as well. So on the portal, we are specifying the IP address and the port on which the server will be accessible. Actually, we have 000, which means we can access the storage from any IP address attached to any interface on this server. So if you want to customize that behavior, you can specify specific port and IP address. So now I'll try to create another block device which I share to this one, which will be secure. So I'll do cd, I'll go at the root. So I'll go at the root and do backstore create file IO create file2, and I'll store at the root path as well, file2.img, and the size will be 200 megabyte. And if I do ls, so we have the file2 which has 200 megabytes, and I'll now share that through the ICANN, which will be secure and not unsecure as the previous one. So I'll do iSCSI ICANN secure tpg1 and learn, which I'll get learn 0. I'll do create learn 0, and the storage block will be backstore file and file2. If I do ls, we can see we have the first learn, which is learn 0, and the ACL I will create it on the ACL which target the same client server, and for that I will do iSCSI IQN secure tpg1 ACL create server iqhen dot 2023-11.dev.local.server 1 : storage. So the ACL name or the initiator must be the same as is the client which I want to give access to that storage in particular. So I'll do storage. If I do ls, I'll do ls iSCSI iqhen secure. So we have this one, which is the name of the client. So if I go here and cut etc iSCSI initiator name, which is iqhen 2023-11.dev.local.server 1 storage, that's okay, and the learn is already attached. So now to make that learns using authentication, I must do, so I'll go directly in that path. So I'll do cd iSCSI iqhen secure, and here if I use set again, so it's not there, so I do ls, I'll open tpg1 cd tpg1, and here I will do set authentication set attribute, and it will be authentication equal 1. So if I put set authentication on the tpg, that will enable authentication data tpg, and to set the password I use set auth, press 2 times the tab keyword, will show you all property which you can use. So here there is password, which equal I will add password, and I will do the same with user ID. I'll add red hat. So I've set now the password and the user which will connect on that ACL in particular, and I will also do, I'll go at the root and do ls. If you can see on this one now, there is authentication at the end, which and it became red. That shows that on this ACL in particular, there is authentication which is enabled. And now I can try now to connect remotely for my client. So I'll go back here. So I'll do save and exit. And now I'll go back here, and this time I will do the same command to discover target from a remote server. So I'll do iSCSI ADM module discovery if as I haven't rediscovered that, and T will be send target with ST. So you can place ST or send target, send target with a P storage.local.dev. So as you can see, we have now the second target which I configured on my iSCSI server or on the target, and now I want to log in on that. To log in on that, as I know I'm using authentication, I must change the way the authentication will be performed. So for that, I will use iSCSI ADM. If I use iSCSI ADM m node with T with the name of this target, like we did previously, to connect to that. I'll just copy that. Copy and paste it there, and I'll do dash. So I can do login or dash L. So as you can see, the authentication is not working, login failed. So this means the authentication does it on that target. We have authentication, and for that I must specify those information before I can try to connect. And to do that, I will do iSCSI ADM -m node -u update -n, and here I'll specify the parameter which I want to update. So for that, I will just do cat etc iSCSI.config, and here I'll grep session.auth. So you can see we have username and the password which we must set, and in my case I'll just do iSCSI adm -m module, and here I'll use node dash the target, which is so I'll use O for the option, so option will be update, and the target, not the target, I'll press the name of the property which I want change. It will be node.session.auth.username and dash v equal to red hat. So this is the username on the target, which is the ear. So I'll set the setting for that target, and also I must set also the username, so the password. So I'll go here, password is password, and here it will be password. And I must also say that we are using authentication, we're using the auth method. So this one we are using the SHA. So I'll do secure storage. Here it will be SHA method, and here it will be auth method. No, I must shut the not sharp. Okay, now I've set whole property, and if I want to check that, I can do just node remove everything and leave just node and press grep or just to session. As you can see, I have the username which is set to red hat, and there is also the password. And now I can try to log in again. So I'll just call the command which I used previously. Session. Okay, we have the password and the username is red hat. Okay, if I go here, target CLI iSCSI kn secure ls OpenTPG1 and get auth. So the password is password, and the user ID actually is empty. So I'll do set auth. So user ID is red hat actually. So that's okay, red hat. Now why it's not working? If I do iSCSI adm -m node dash eikn secure dash login authorization portal ICANN 11 dev So I've been troubleshooting the server, and I figured out where I made some error. So actually I've set the authentication parameter on the wrong level. So if I do ls, so I've said I should set the authentication at this level, the username and the password, and not at the level of the TPG. So I'll go and change that to make it work. So I'll do iSCSI ICANN secure TPG1 set auth user ID equal to null and password equal to null, and I'll go now set it on the right level. The right level will be at tpg acl iqn set auth password and the username, which is user ID. I will set it at this level, so set user ID right that. And now if I just to exit, clear the terminal, target CLI, and now I'll do lsc, so I'll do iSCSI IQN secure tpg1 acl IQN get auth. So I'll set the username and the password at this level and not at the other level, which is at the tpg level. Get auth, and at this level is empty. And now if I go on my server and try now to log in, it's succeeded. So there should be some you must be a little bit careful when you are configuring. So there is authentication at the tpg level and at the acl level. Actually, I'm just doing the authentication on the tpg level, on the acl level, and not at the tpg level. So if I go back here and do ls, so the authentication is defined at this level. So at this level, so that is where I specify my username and password. And now on, if I do ls blk, I have the sdb. I have disconnected the previous one, so I'll go and connect it as well. So secure, it will be storage -l. So I've already had I've added the username and the password in the configuration, so I'll disconnect everything and reconnect it as by default. So I'll do iSCSI idm -n m module node -p storage.local.dev and -u to disconnect everything. So I'm disconnected. If I do iSCSI session -p3, there is no any active session. And now I'll try to reconcile. Go etc iSCSI config and search for username, and here I'll go and comment this one, and go back, comment this one as well. And for the algorithm as well, auth method, so I'll disconnect that and do systemctl restart iSCSI d. Okay, everything is restarted. I will delete all discovered previous target rm-l var lib iSCSI. So here is where all iSCSI data is stored. So I'll delete node, and I will delete also send target. And now I'll try to rediscover it with icm iSCSI adm-m discovery very -tst-p storage.local.dev. So it discovered the two targets, the secure one and the non-secure. And I will do iSCSI adm-m node-t aqn.2223.11.dev.local.storage, and now just connect on that. So the login succeeds for the first one. If I do ls blk, so we have the SDB and the SDD like previously. And for the second one, which require authentication, I will do iSCSI. So I'll just call the same command, secure storage dash O for option and do update. So I want to update the configuration for that one. If I do it like this and grep session, actually you can see on session username and password and the method there is nothing. I want to set the password and the sharp method, so I'll do dash O update dash n session, no, not session, node dot session dot auth dot auth method dash v for value with v sharp, and I'll go and change for the username. Name will be equal to username will be equal to Red Hat, and for the password it will be equal to password. So I'll go change that and the password. And now if I do session grep again, you can see we have Red Hat and password. So now I'm trying to log in to use the two target I've set, the one which require authentication and another one which is not requiring authentication. And if I do lsblk, we have STB and STC. Now I want to connect the third one which require authentication, so I'll do this one. And now I can just have, after I've set everything related to authentication, I can now connect. If I do -L, you can see connected successful. And if I do lsblk, we have another block device SDD. So that is the disk which require authentication. So if you want to have block device which require authentication and other which doesn't require authentication, you must unset some property during the authentication. If you set the value from the grep session, so node session dot auth in etc iSCSI so grep. So if you set in that file will, so those configuration will be applied every time you try to log in. But if you want to avoid that, you can still update the setting for each target when you want to connect using the O option, where you specify you want to update and you update a property which you want. So actually we are connecting on this server on both type of block device, which one require authentication and the other one doesn't require. And if I do fdisk dev sdd, I can now create a partition. And if I do p write, and if I do lsplk, so I've all my partition mounted from the iSCSI. And I can also try to create file on that and make file system mkfs sd4 ext4 dev sdd1. I've updated the file system on that. I can mount it on mount dev sdd1 on mnt, and I can go in mnt and create a file like ddif dev 0 and of dev, not here, it will be here, just dump dot mg bs 1 megabyte, and I'll create a file of 10 megabytes. So 10, so it's bs. And if I do ls minus l, I have a file which has 10 megabytes in that path. So if I do lsblk, so we can see the partition there. We have actually 120 megabytes left on that. So that is how you can mount So you have a storage from a server which have more space, and you share that space with other server via iSCSI. So I show you how to create block devices, block storage, also file storage object. I've shown you how to create IOKN for space for iSCSI, and to create also target on that, to create learned, and also to create ACL with and without authentication. So you have whole setting which is you can use to create iSCSI block device you should share. So you can go deep with this, as there is many option and parameter which you can use to manage iSCSI. So this is what I want to share with you in this video. If you want to get more deep in these topics, you can just leave comment, show exactly what you want to learn about iSCSI, what topic you want me to develop or to go deeper on that. I'll try to do my best and come with another video where I show you what exactly you want related to iSCSI. Before I can end this video, I like to show one important thing about iSCSI. So this is based on my own experience. So when I was working as a system administrator in a bank field, sometimes we have one server which have a lot spaces, and we share, actually it was 5 terabyte of spaces, and we mounted on one server which was meant for user data. And one day we were just in normal day, we discovered that the learns which were shared on that server disappear completely, and the block device also disappeared, but the file which referred to that block device was present on the server. So we struggled to know how to restore that. We were obliged to contact our support team to assist us to fix that. So I would like to show you as well how you can restore a LAN when it disappears completely. So I'll just go back. So LSPLK. So actually we have those 3 block devices mounted on the client part. So I'll go on my server. And here I'll do lsplk. So I will delete the learn for the file IO, the first one, and I will delete also the learn for the file one, and I'll show you how to restore that. So I'll just do I'll do iSCSI. No, I'll just do backstore file IO, delete the file one. So now it's gone. If I go here and try to, so I'll try to mount as well that on somewhere. So mkdir, I'll mount mnt file 1 and file 2. I'll create also block 1, and now I'll just do mount make a mkfs xt3 xt4 on dev. So lsplk, I'll just format that. So lsplk. So I want to mount it before I can show you what exactly I will do. So I'll do lsplk, no, I'll do mkfs ext4 dev stb1, and I will mount it at mount dev stb1 at mmt file 1. Okay, so as you can see, I have that error which said can't mount block div, can't read super block dev s. This is because actually here the block device is already gone. ls. So we have an error mapped, learn does not exist, so I'll just do exit. So this is the case, probably the exact case which I faced like I was explaining. So if I do target CLI ls, so you can see the file IO1 does not exist. So this is the exact case which I was explaining. And now once you want to restore that, you don't be afraid or making some thinking like your data is lost or anything. If you do lsplk ls in ls, you can see the file one exists. The file one exists and is as also the same size like we created with 100 megabyte, but actually the learn and the block and the file IO object does not exist. So to restore that, what you do target CLI, you are connecting and you do ls. So we have a file IO object which you must restore. So I'll do backstore file IO, do create file 1. You can name it everything, and file 1, file 2, it doesn't depend. You have just to restore it. File 1, and I will do root and file 1.img. And after that, I have to specify the size. So I'll do 100 megabyte, as I know the file was of 100 megabyte, and press enter. So that will restore my file IO object. If I do ls, so the file exists. The file 1 actually is restored, but the learn is still not present. We have still only one learn. And to restore that one, I will do also iSCSI IQN storage, not secure, storage, and tpg1 learn create learn 0, which will refer to storage backstore file IO file 1. So this will restore that. If I do now, I go back here and do again mount that one, we can see missing that one. I must now format that with mkfs, and now I can mount it. So we have it mounted, and if I do cd mnt file 1, I can create file in that sample.txt. So now the file is restored, and here on my side I have everything restored. So that is how you restore a lens or a block, a lens or a block or file how it would disappear completely. It is not very complicated. You must know just know the right path where the file is stored or the block device name, and remount it or recreate it, and that will restore completely everything. So that is what I want to show you in this video. Like I said previously, if you want to know more deep, you want to know other thing about iSCSI or more advanced stuff related to iSCSI, you can still leave a comment and I will go through it and see if I can create another video on that. But if you like this kind of content, you can also subscribe to my channel, as I will still creating content related to Linux and other topic. Actually, I'm just working on Linux, and I can go deep and deep on different topics related to Linux. And if you are interested, subscribe, leave comment, or like this video, and also make sure you ring the bell notification so you can be notified whenever I post new video. And that will be all for this video.